Jesus Christ, Tommy Jan, get the show on the road. Welcome everybody. This is Burnt Tongue. This is our 20th show.
Wow.
This is a quarterly reading series that I put together about 5 years ago, 5 years in August, to honor the amazing, beautiful writer Tom Spanbauer. I spent many years in the basement, not as many as some folks, but I spent some years in the basement, and I heard so many people reading the beautiful work. And not a lot of you don't know me, but some of you do. I tend to be a little bit of an extrovert, and so I started writing and kind of got out there really quickly, and people were like, "You're doing all these readings, I wonder how you do." You know, I heard that a lot. So I heard all these beautiful, beautiful writers. Some were doing readings a lot, and some had never done reading. So I decided, wouldn't it be great to get people who've read a lot together with people who haven't read much, but people you all know, or sort of know at least, and have a safe-ish, comfortable but public space to read your work. And it's just been such an absolute blessing to see people come here and read and support each other and love each other. And it's been a complete blessing in my life. So that's the first thing I want to say. Thank you, Tom Spanbauer. Thank you, David Writers. And tonight, or actually, I now work with Lydia Yuknovich in corporeal writing. We tried to start it a few years ago, and it wasn't quite ready yet. So we started it a year and a half ago, and it's going off. It's an absolute wonderful thing, and we have several readers from corporeal writing here tonight too, and I've been absolutely pleased to have you with us. Another community is building. And if you notice on the little posters, it says, "We want your words." I love, if you're a writer, or even if you want to be a writer, or you've got something that you think is important to say, I don't screen people's stuff, and I'm absolutely happy to give voice to whoever wants to read. There have been very few limits to that. There have been a couple of times when I'm like, it's not because they weren't good writers, it's because I'm just not going to go to that. So I guess that's what I want to say about that. It's been quite a time. Tonight, I'm very, very happy to announce that we've got duet MCs, Arby Branham and MF McCullough, Moira. Thank you very much for being here and taking on this role.
We are honored.
So without further ado, welcome our MCs.
She gave us a script, and I'm going to follow the script.
Hey.
Dami will open and welcome folks, and turn the mic over.
You really got
Dami Shoemaker is founder of this. Oh, that's yours. Sorry.
Dami Shoemaker is the founder of this reading series. They have been writing stories since they could hold a crayon, and seriously writing after leaving the mental health crisis work after 22 years in 2010. That year, they got into Tom Spanbauer's Dangerous Writers and all clicked into place. Finally, Dami met Lydia Yuknovich, got their MFA from Pacific University, and is now co-facilitating seasonal workshops with Lydia Yuknovich, and is officially the ambassador for Lydia's stellar workshop series, Corporeal Writing. Things just keep getting better.
That's what you want.
I know, I don't know if I had to say this. So, a lot of people know this. My mom died in December, and it was pretty sudden, but really, really, really interesting in terms of what it opened up in my head and my heart. And I actually had this really wild, ecstatic experience the night she died. And she literally, I felt like I'm not somebody who's that moved, but I'm open to ideas about energy and absolutely about energy and how we actually communicate with each other without words. And it felt like she flew through me. She landed up there somewhere, and I don't even know where there is. She threw down her cane, said, I don't need that fucking thing anymore. And she started dancing with my grandfather, who died in 1978. And it was the most weird, wild, joyous experience of my life. I started chanting weird shit and talking to the four directions, to the winds. And I don't even know what I said. Kelly was there and heard me, but it was wild. And I was saying all these weird things. I'm like, huh. So I'm writing about that too, but partially because of that, I started writing letters to her every night when I got back. And they're pretty public, Facebook. And I feel self-conscious about it sometimes, but there's something about it that I love. So I'm going to read two of those. We just went over and had her memorial 2 weeks ago, so and cleaned out her storage shed. So, good evening, Mom. Oh wait, I said Mom this time. Sorry. Good evening, Mom. I'm pooped, and I wanted to make sure I get this out there. I sure do love you. Today was a hoot. Painful as hell at times, but a hoot. We did not even know this fella. He was just tooling around looking for deals at storage spaces, as there was a big auction at one just down the road a bit. I ended up striking up a conversation like I do, and Brent and Chad gave me a few things for nothing, like they do. I learned that he was 70, had lived in the area all his life. His wife was down the street shopping. He has to go around Shopko one more time so he could stay and visit. And then his sister was my size, his age, and was still doing hair, even though about bitter end. He kept saying I looked familiar. I said, my name's Domi, and he said, you look like a Joan. We chatted, Joanne. We chatted some more about where I had worked, who we might both know, and that no, we weren't related to the shoemaker bunch up on the hill. Definitely not. After I got back from a sandwich run with Kelly, Annie Marilyn and Lori, he was there, made himself right to home, sitting and chatting with the guys while they were sorting and picking. When I rolled over to him, he thanked me and said he'd better get to his wife, because she'd already been around twice and there wasn't nothing new to see. Then he shook my hand and said simply, yep, she knew your mom. I'm like, Linda? I said, because of course he'd already told me his sister's name. Yeah, he said she knew her. We both smiled, a little sad in his eyes, and I don't think it was just my reflection. Of course she did. Pleasure meeting you. Next one. Good night, Mom. I love you. Tomorrow. What happens when everybody else is there to say goodbye? Maybe they aren't going to say goodbye, so there won't be pressure for me to say goodbye. But if that does happen to be a lot of good, if there does happen to be a lot of goodbye, I might just stand up and scream and smithereens stomp the goodbye right out of the room. There's no goodbye when you're still here, when your memory is still here, when the stories are still here, and most of all, when your energy is energy and it never goes away. It just changes form. I feel you so real in my body. Different days, different places. And tonight, you're covering my back. A dense but flexible force field. A friend to Brother Bear. Without you there, I might die. My limbs torn clean off. My guts consumed by grief. As the bear, he licks his chops and comes back to finish me off. But fuck that. My heart is mine, and I'll swallow him first. Good night, Mom. I love you. Thank you.
My next thought criminal. Adam Strong's work has appeared in Nailed, Gravity of Thing, City of Weird, 30 Otherworldly Portland Tales, and the forthcoming From Thought Crimes Press, Not My President, the Anthology of Dissent. Adam is the founder of the Songbook PDX reading series of the Literary Estate, and he writes and loves in Portland, Oregon.
I think you need to turn that on.
All right. Is it on button?
It's a button. thank you, Donnie. Wow, 5 years? 5 years? Yeah. Crazy, crazy. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Tom. I love you. There's a piece called Inner Fire. There's a point in every game when it feels like I'm flying. There's just the right amount of rain to give the ground a perfect softness. I play midfield, which means I run the entire length of the field back and forth. There are 2 yellow pop-up goals on either side of the field. There's Sean, the guy with the beard and the Arsenal shirt. He's the brewer. And then there's Kevin, the death metal head. Me in the middle and 2 people on other team trying to steal the ball. But I got something I do. It's called a burst of pace. That's what the English commentators call it. It's when you suddenly run as fast as you can. And right then, I've got the ball, and I zoom past the other people who are trying to steal it from me, and there's the clip at the back of my left foot that tells me I've made it past, and I look up long enough to see I've got a clear shot on goal. There is the goal, and there are my feet dancing on this wonderful pillow of mud, and I passed all the defenders, and I hook the ball, and it all happens. I don't fuck it up. I kick it at just the right angle, like the kind I see the pros do, and the ball curves right into the back of the net. And I want to cheer and dance around, but I let the warm inside my chest do that for me. It feels like winning, and winning is not a thing that I am used to doing. Then we carry on. We keep playing, and somewhere in there I'm reminded of fire ants. Fire ants on my legs, on my arms, and my face. 3rd grade, Pinecrest Elementary. I am lying down on the grass, and it is a clear, crisp, late fall Miami morning, no humidity. There are people playing kickball far away, but I have been left out. No one would pick me, so I decided to go off on my own. I laid right down so I could see the sky, so I could daydream, write my ticket out of there. So great to get away with a daydream instead of being called a loser and a spaz because my body does not do what I want it to do. And there's the PE teacher. She sees me and she runs over, and I see her head look down over mine, and I can tell by the wrinkles on her face and where they are how mad she is. And she puts her hand down on my shoulder, and there's pain all up and down my neck, hot burn like I've never felt before, like all the times I got my ass kicked for adding up to this. But it doesn't make sense because she's here and she doesn't have her hand on me, and still the burn is down my neck and back, and it's then I realize I'm lying on a fire in a pile. She pulls me up, walks me over to the building, and everyone has stopped playing the game of kickball I wasn't invited to play in. And there's the burn at my neck and ears and back and ass and balls, and I'm crying and I feel like I could pass out. The teacher, she knows all of it. About how I always am picked last. About how I just don't want to deal. That PE teacher, she knows all about me. And the whole walk back to the classroom, all she says over and over is, I'm sorry.
Did I break it? Ashley Salmon is a soon-to-be 35-year-old poetry prose writer. She has been living in Portland for nearly 7 years. Her focus was on nature poetry, but she grew tired of that and instead focused her on her life. Days of hard drinking, exploring sexuality, and her emotionally abusive relationships. The way she put words to paper, switching tenses, writing raw and vulgar, she picked up the nickname Fem Bukowski on talk radio shows. Her most famous piece, Anal Sex, was published in the Zine and Modus Operandi. Her work has been compared to John Prine and Tom Waits as well. So, Ashley Salmon.
Is this the one? Hello. Okay. Anyways, I didn't bring anything Bukowski inspired, but this is just a personal story that I thought I would share with you all. Keep in mind this is my 4th reading in 7 years, so I'm a little nervous. I talked to Donnie a while back and I said I write better with words. I was like, give me a list of words, and one of the words she gave me was itch. This thing you gave me almost 2 years ago makes me itch. You'll find out why at the end of this. Knowing that I gave you my trust, sleeping with you 4 days after I met you, not picking up on your ways of being a covert narcissist until later because I was having so much fun. My eyes were shut as I twirled around like a little girl at Brewfest during our first summer we spent together, while getting buzzed like a constant hum and sloshed as only waves should crash against rocks at the ocean, all under your expense. But the song Return to Innocence by Enigma stuck in my, played on repeat for days in my head. As I lay there in bed beside you, I would be less anxiety-ridden, and my toss and turns when I activate. I would lay there stiff as a board in silence as you were passed out beside me. The first 6 months at least, then the judgments and letters under your breath started slipping out and sliding off your tongue. My voice raised and anger showed. You didn't like that much. The times we said we were sorry, over and over. I just began to drink more. You did too. Judging me for the food I put in my mouth, the fact that I reeked like cigarette smoke, you began to blame me for every bit of problem you had. The times you stayed with me in the inner city were seldom, 4 times to be exact. Always had to be in your environment. Your so-called friends weren't really your friends. One New Year's Eve, right up here. One New Year's Eve, you had bought me a bottle of Bushmills, my go-to. We're rooming together at this point, but I found myself at once, again, another metal show, in the bathroom of the high water mark, slugging small sips, then coming out. You did me a favor, so I wouldn't have to spend money that night. Then to be used for ridicule that night, get me so wasted you would go to another bar close to your home. I'd pass out on the corner right in front of your house. I don't remember doing so. You told me the next day that some man across the way had come over to see if I was okay. You told me you just stood there, looked down at me, and told me there was a man that came over and whispered in my ear asking if I was okay. All of that is unremembered, but if the story is true, why the fuck did you not pick me up? If you had cared, had empathy, common sense, you would have brought me into a safe spot, not even a second away. Months had passed, and we got together one last time. I had asked if you had any unprotected sex with anyone, and you said no. Then as we proceeded per usual, as we had a few years prior, and after the fact that you admitted, I had become upset. You left for your annual summer vacation, and a week later I contacted a yeast infection in BV. I called and told you you should go to get tested. Told you how to go about it and asked to be tested for also HSV1 and 2. Till this day you still won't. Almost 2 years later, this coming August 2017. Dating has been rough. Everyone runs from me. Fuck you. So the Thurston High School shooting was almost 19 years ago tomorrow. I didn't go there, but I knew many people who did. It's been really rough for those last 19 years. This is an acrostic piece I wrote, the alphabet up and down and across. You all know what that is. So I memorized this piece. All because of one boy being so miserable at this point. Cops surrounding, deciding to move on. Everyone feeling an emotion, forgetting what had happened. Happiness is not found, but hate is. I will never forget May 21st, 1998. Just a joke, just Kippo and Philip Kinkel. Losing friends, brothers, sisters, and other family members. Missing others, others mourning. Not nice. Open doors, not closed. Pressing people's places. Quick shooting. Hurting 23. Killing 4. Yeah. restless youth, time unusual, vows, without hope or chance, X wrong, you say Zion will go on. To those of Thurston.
Okay, in advisory, we need the mic. If you're in Reykjavik or Barcelona, you better get to the bar right now. Or naturally, Barcelona and Zagreb, Reykjavik's open until 4 in the morning. Vilnius, you're late, you're booked. Onward. Writer and educator David Chiavenella's fiction has appeared in the anthologies Lambda Lit Award-winning Portland Queer, Tales from the Rose City, and The Frozen Moment, Contemporary Writers on the Choices That Change Our Lives, the lit journal Lumina, the online Underwater New York, and Broadcaster. His poems have appeared in Poetry Northwest. His original screenplay, Bruno, occasionally appears on DVD as a dress code. David currently teaches with Caldera Arts, young audiences and writers in the schools, as well as at the Attic Institute. Look for him there. You can send it to me now.
Thank you, Dami. Love you. I love you, Tom. I first met Kevin Tappan on a hill up behind his house, in a muddy gully between two boulders tilting out of the uneven ground. It was a place he liked to go to rifle through the mud and dirt with his Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels, scraping roads with hands and sticks, building carforts and mini mansions out of flat rocks and twigs. When he was bored with this little world, he would flip through baseball cards until the dinner bell rang. I was walking home from the schoolyard one windy day, trying a new shortcut through the wooded backyards of Wayne, examining trees with trunks the size of Hercules that seemed to sprout out of ancient ditches. The neighborhood still smelled new back then. One could find an old arrowhead in the uncaked ground around where the blueprint of a fresh house was being nailed up, safe and sound. Rain-soaked stacks of maple-scented plywood cut into planks, pieces of plastic piping, truck tracks that looked as if they'd been pressed by army tanks. Lots of tree fort building materials, a 1970s suburban boy's dream. One could get lost in the wood skeleton of a split-level ranch. The giant rib cage could become a haunted castle loaded with secret rooms, a place where a king could kiss his queen, or a place where a boy could dream about finding his prince if he was so inclined. A land of make-believe full of vagrant, tough guys and innocent thieves. Hey, you're trespassing on my property, faggot. Kevin Tappan, #1 son in a cold crew of tow-headed bullies, hollered. I turned to see the face of an angel stamped onto the soul of a young Mephistopheles. Mean eyes, a tender wash of turquoise, pink lips snarled above a heartbreaking little chin, an uneven rash of Dutch freckles, 2 missing teeth. Hey, faggot, did you hear what I said? I didn't really know what a faggot was, yet. It could have been my new plastic oval-shaped Matchbox card case, or the rubber-banded stack of baseball cards in my other hand, but Kevin had me on the ground tasting dirt and sand, my right arm twisted up behind my back. Gotcha, faggot, he hissed in my ear. Kevin was older than me, 2 years or so, and seemed twice as big, so he didn't expect it when I flipped him off my back, spun him around, slammed him onto the ground, and aggressively pressed my fire-engine red Ket into the shelf of his collarbone. His tough little Hot Wheels belt buckle glinted in the afternoon sun. Who's got who now, I asked. Get off me, he screamed. Get the fuck off me. He screamed like he was screaming for his mommy or his daddy. Say you'll be my friend, I hollered into his pink face steaming with rage and shame. Say you'll be my friend and that you'll come home with me to watch TV and I'll let you go and maybe I won't do it again. Okay, he squealed. I gave him one final kick before I got up. Let's go, I said. But it's going to be dinner time soon, Kevin whined. Tough. There was no room for negotiations. You can call your mother from my house, pick up my cars and cards. You're going to carry them. Why are you walking so fast, he asked. I have to make it home before dark shadows, I said. What's dark shadows? Foolish mortal, I laughed. An hour later, after plowing our way through a fresh bag of Chips Ahoy and sharing a carton of whole milk while watching the episode where Dr. Hoffman unleashes a cure so Barnabas the vampire could live in daylight, Kevin was in. It wasn't Star Trek, he said, but it sure was neat. He especially liked the beautiful blonde witch, Angelique. Saucer-shaped emerald eyes and banana curls that bounced as she cursed her enemies. She's so hot, he said. Of course, I have my favorite too. Tall Quentin Collins with a full head of lanky Heathcliff hair and eyes that were so damn blue, even when the full moon bloomed and he sprouted claws and fur. Blue like the sky above a tropical ocean at noon, almost the same blue as Kevin's. It's especially neat you have a quasar colored TV, Kevin said over my mother's famous meatballs and tomato gravy. Hey, can we hang out tomorrow? He asked. Dark Shadow starts at 3:30. Don't be any later than 3:15, I commanded like a Hollywood's family rich. Ring the doorbell 3 times so I know it's you. Kevin and I spent almost every weekday afternoon in front of the TV, floating through the secret passageways of Collinwood, dodging parallel time bands, watching dismembered heads speak, avoiding dream curses, and traveling into past centuries with the mystical assistance of the I Ching. During commercial breaks, Arid Extra Dry, Tab Tame Shampoo, and the like, Kevin told me all about girls. He illuminated me on the facts of life. He told me girls have dicks. They're little, but they're there. I have sisters, I know. He told me my favorite actress, Vivian Leigh, fucked to have a baby. I thought all she had to do was kiss. Kevin laughed and drew me a detailed diagram of exactly what she had to do. Screw, he called it. She had to screw. I imagine my father working on my mother with his Philips super cool 6-point extension. She had to screw, Kevin repeated as he artfully drew. I stupidly left the drawing on the rust-colored carpet of the rec room for my mother to find. This suspended our Dark Shadows dates for a couple of weeks. My mother made my father sit me down and explain everything to me. He couched it as something completely carnal. What the dogs do like crazy every spring. My mother screamed. It was only done after the marriage vows were exchanged. It was only done for love. God, she yelled, meant it to be lovely. To me, it all sounded positively disgusting. That is to say, until I started imagining what it might be like to kiss and screw a man. I had no control over these thoughts. They manifested at the oddest of times. While I was in school, sitting behind my desk, listening to ridiculous algebra rhymes, I imagined what it might be like for Kevin to screw me, or what it might be like to screw Kevin. During lunch one day, after Kevin bragged about one of his girlfriends, he asked, "Hey, when are we going to watch Dark Shadows again?" That afternoon, we were back on the rec room rug in front of the color TV, both of us belly down, watching a werewolf transform, when I suddenly felt Kevin's leg press against mine. As Quentin Collins sprouted fur and claws, Kevin turned to me, all milk and cookie breath. "Want a kiss?" he said. "Or I can just bite your neck like Barnabas Collins, or you can bite mine." A crooked little shiver played up and down my spine. Then I shook like a dog after a cold bath. "Who's the faggot now?" I wanted to ask. The werewolf on TV howled, and I howled too, and this scared Kevin, but he was undeterred. "Come on," he said, hopping on top of me. "Let's wrestle again." For a few minutes, everything was a swirl of corduroy, t-shirts, orange rug wool, and sweaty pieces of boy, some soft and some hard as knotty pine. The naughty parts, both his and mine. This time Kevin had me pinned down, knees straddling my hips, his Hot Wheels belt buckle nipping at my stomach until I yelled, "I knew you were a faggot! You're a faggot!" I cried. He immediately stopped dry humping and hyperventilated over my face. I could see the brown cookie crumbs caked between his teeth, the chocolate packed into the crowns of his molars. I could see up his crusty nostrils. I could see he was fighting to breathe. For a moment, his turquoise eyes locked onto mine. I wanted to yell like a soap opera actress on fire. "Sex without love is a crime!" I wanted him to ravish me the way Quentin ravished Angelique. Instead, I pushed Kevin's slack body off me, rolled away, and stood on my keds. I told him to go home. I told him I never wanted to see him again. Then I howled one more time for good measure. I howled like a werewolf as I watched him scramble out of our Dark Shadows den. For weeks, I didn't answer the phone. I let the doorbell ring and ring at 3:15. I avoided it in the lunchroom. I walked home from school a different way every day. Eventually, Kevin folded himself into a new set of friends, a merry band of fire-starting, fort-building, farting little roughnecks. I held fast for as long as I could, then sitting in earth science one day, I started wondering if they were dry humping, if maybe they were kissing and screwing and biting each other's necks. It all got the better of me. I finally passed Kevin a note on a stormy Thursday. Want to watch Dark Shadows with me later today? Fuck you, you little faggot, as Novak said. After remedial reading the next day, I followed him into the boys' room, cornered him against the molded tiles in a damaged stall. I bared my fangs and demanded to know why he wouldn't watch Dark Shadows with me anymore. He tried to back away. When I told him I loved him and wanted to have his baby, the look of fear and disgust on his face slayed me. Are you fucking kidding me, he yelled? In my own shock and grief at what I had just said, I let him spit in my face. Go ahead, I screamed as he tore out of the bathroom. Just try and stop loving me. I sat on the shit-stained toilet for over an hour, chewing on my fangs, nursing my wounded dignity. I thought about possibly murdering Kevin by using a voodoo doll, or by casting a wicked spell and sending him to another century. Perhaps I could feign amnesia and forget the whole damn thing. Nothing I could think of seemed to mollify me. Even though I still had my future husband, Quentin Collins, and my freaky friends in Collinwood for comfort, without the curse of toe-headed Kevin Taplin, I knew deep in my creepy little heart watching Dark Shadows would never be the same. That afternoon, after the wailing theremin kicked in and the spooky opening theme swooned over the swelling ocean waves, something snapped inside me and I slammed off the TV. I sat on the rust-colored rug and stared at the dark screen, seething. I couldn't howl. I wanted to scream. I sure as hell wouldn't cry. Instead, I spit my plastic fangs out, choked back hot tears, and vowed, as God is my witness, I will never, ever watch Dark Shadows again. Then the doorbell rang 3 times.
Leah studied dangerous writing with Thomas Spanbauer. 2 years ago, she took her first corporeal writing workshop. These workshops led to her reading tonight. Leah is working with Carl Fishbach and Katie Kuhn on their anthology, Jouissance sans cesse, about sexuality in women under 50. This summer, she'll be studying screenwriting with Andy Mingo and working on her memoir, The Larry of the World, and studying with Libby Newton-Rich. And she'll be in a documentary called What I Couldn't Say Then, about the silencing of abused children and what happens to the world when they finally have the courage to speak. And here is Leah speaking.
My horse reared and slammed the edge of his neck into my face. He never intended to hurt me, but he was frightened, he was terrified. But his terror made my face bloody, bruised, and swollen. And 3 days later, I had my first dangerous writing workshop. I told the story of why I looked the way I looked, and Tom Spanbauer listened quietly. And then he said, "This is what happens with dangerous writing. You're afraid." Well, that weekend I started doing things and writing things that scared me. But riding the terrified horse, dangerous writing, standing here and now telling you something that I've kept secret for 60 years, all of these are the fears I chose. What happened in November I didn't choose and you didn't either. The fear that haunts our days. The fear that reminds me of a childhood where I had no choice. Trump is raping America every day. We, the people in this room, we didn't choose that. But 53% of white women in America, they delivered us into his hands. And every day that Trump remains brings me to the days when my mother gave me to my father to be raped. In the transaction, she said, He wouldn't be her anymore. He wouldn't hurt me, and she wouldn't commit suicide. Sex happened whenever and wherever he wanted. I wondered if it was rape that just kept happening. My mother hid in her bedroom and danced with Mozart. But this isn't a story about a bad mother or a bad father or even about rape. It's about what happens when we don't talk, when we don't listen, when we're afraid to listen. By 1955, my mother was losing her mind. The woman who held meetings in our duplex in Hollywood to resist Senator McCarthy. The woman who lost family in Auschwitz and told me that regimes like this happen over and over again, and we must always, always resist. The woman who tended the women on our street who had been battered by their husbands. That woman, that mother, she disappeared when we moved to a horse ranch, a rescue horse ranch, miles away from civilization. My father beat her, she broke, and she vanished from reality. She spent time in her bedroom, full of artificial roses and tarot cards and music, and she danced with Mozart. She believed Mozart loved her, and he held her in his arms, and she found safety there. I once went to my mother for help. She said, "You have your whole life ahead of you. Mine is almost over." There were a few times I tried to resist my father before we escaped when I was 16. My father shaved with a straight-edged razor, whose edge he kept keen by sharpening it on a leather belt that hung in the bathroom. He often said it could cut almost anything. Trump looks terrifyingly like my father. A fatter, older version, but like him. My father was a Sunday school teacher, a gentle horse trainer who loved teaching girls how to ride. A man admired by the men and women who attended the church where he taught Sunday school. A man who expected attention, admiration, obedience. I didn't obey. I found ways to evade him, even to challenge him sometimes. One night, asleep in my bedroom, my father on top of me, his knees on my belly, his forearm against my throat, the razor sliced my nipple. I stopped fighting, and I dreamed that horses loved me. The next day, I told my mother what happened. I went to the bedroom. I told her Mozart would not save us. Nobody would save us but us. My mother pushed me out of the room, slammed the door, kicked it so hard a crack ran jagged down the center. And she said, "I'm never going to talk to you again." Yeah, I didn't try to reach her again. Well, my father took what he wanted. I listened to the horses, believed they were speaking to me. And you know, I wandered in garnet-colored caverns of their hearts. I believed I was inside the hearts of horses. And my mother danced. My mother and I were going crazy, simple as that. But you know, it helped us to survive. Sometimes, crazy is the thing that saves me. Last year in November, some of my old craziness returned. But this time, it wasn't saving me. I couldn't write, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't think. Every day was a tesseract. Every day was a time when past and present melded, merged, folded together, multi-time dimensions coexisting. I woke up not quite remembering where, when I was. But it couldn't be crazy. Not now, I said. I didn't have time for it. I was working on a project with a friend, with two friends. These women depended on me to communicate with them and to write, and I was failing them. I didn't have time to be crazy, but I couldn't think, breathe, write, dream for months. I asked my friends if I could tell them a story about me. A story I've never told anybody. Of course, they said. I thought, you know, if I told a story, if I showed the wound, I could breathe right again. For years, I lied to husbands and lovers, to the doctors who gave me breast exams, and the people who gave me mammograms. I was born that way, I said. Even in the arms of the woman I loved, I said, oh, that nipple is shy. You can't arouse her. It was so funny. I laughed all my life. And then Trump came to office, and every day was a new horror. I wrote to my friends, these women I trust with my life. I sent the pictures. I said, before I sent the pictures, is it okay if I do this? And they said, yes, yes, send them. Tell us, they said. And so, on my iPhone, I said it, I think I lost my thing. Oh well. On my iPhone, I took pictures and I sent it to them. One breast with a nipple, one without. I think I broke some Facebook rule. Thank you. I think I broke some Facebook some Facebook rule. Why is a woman's nipple, that part that's designed to give milk, why is that erotic? Why can't that be on Facebook? A breast without a nipple? Hey, that's fine. Not a problem. You know, I don't think a woman came up with that idea. Well, I started writing again. We all carry stories we've yet to tell and wounds, oh, and tender hearts. With fear and rage so strong now, fear for ourselves, those whom we love, the planet, our passions running high, the stakes now higher than ever before. We are going to make mistakes. We can sometimes offend one another without meaning to. We make mistakes. This resistance has greater diversity than anything I've ever been in. I'm old, and I've been in a lot of them. It's more intergenerational, multi-ethnic, interfaith, interracial, gender fluid, queer than anything I ever marched in or moved in. Yes, that's something about what. It's easy though, now, accidentally, in fear, anger, indignation to hurt one another. We are artists and doers and dreamers, and we feel more deeply than others, I think. And in our passion, we can make mistakes. But in the fear, we didn't choose. In the midst of that, we must choose to talk to one another, even if it scares us, perhaps particularly because it scares us. Oh, I'm not talking about the Trump supporters. I'm talking about our community of artists and writers and activists. Somebody else turn this page. Tom told us to write from the wound. Yes, write from the wound as if your life and the fate of the earth depended upon it, because it does. But never let your wounds keep you from kindness. Never let your fear or anger keep you from remembering that in every reading, every workshop, every march, protest, town hall, there are people, there are stories, they are too fucking to tell. Don't slam the door on them. Don't close them out. There is nothing the lovers of Trump would like better than for us to stop communicating with one another and to see places like Treshball and people like us wiped off the face of the earth. We won't let that happen. Listen to each other. Even if it scares you, listen and choose that fear. We, the writers, the artists, the activists, we need each other more, and the world needs us more than ever before. Take the time to dare to talk to each other. Listen, I'm healthy, but, I have more years behind me than ahead of me. But you have a whole lot ahead of you.
Okie dokie. June Brewer's work has appeared in Scintilla Cultures and Clackamas Lit Review. He hosts the film podcast, John Plays Piano, and is currently finishing his anachronistic dramedy memoir, 20 bullshit jobs I needed, and after June appears, 15-minute intermission and remind folks to tip the press staff. And the MCs if you want.
During the winter months, Donut Friday progresses to Sugar Friday, where anything goes. The ladies in pharmacy bring homemade frosted cookies and fudge brownies and the usual box of a dozen maple bars and jelly-filled heart attacks. I'm still young, so I take an extra for every person claiming they're on a diet. Then a mass email alerts the warehouse there's an employee appreciation luncheon complete with ham and turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy, and as the email states, of course, plenty of desserts. So on the way to the luncheon, I poke my head into a room with a couple half-eaten cakes, the dry chocolate kind with the cheap-tasting whipped frosting. A single employee sits in the corner quietly eating slices of cake. I cannot remember his name, despite exchanging the, "Hey, and how's your day?" and "Pretty good, thanks, yours," and "Pretty good, thanks," for the last year. He says, "Oh, Johnny, do you want some cake?" "No, I'm good, thanks. Why is all this in a separate room? You know, the luncheon's next door." He says, "Oh, well, it's my last day, so they brought me this cake to share." I said, "Well, you know, there's plenty to go around, but I see 2 cakes. He says, "Oh, well, the other one's for someone's birthday, but they called in sick, so since they both just say happy birthday, people kind of picked at either one." I say, "So where are you working next?" He goes, "Oh, well, the hospital down the street. It pays a lot better." "All right, well, send me an email when you get there." And I'm thinking, then I'll know what to call you from now on besides "oh." I walk to the luncheon, fill 2 plates worth of food, one mostly meat and the other mostly potato drowned in gravy. I spend the afternoon breaking down pallets, stacked with wheelchairs and walkers until the sugar sweats through my pores and that little spot in my lower back seizes. I mean, there's a proper way to lift, but it requires lifting consciously, and most of the time I'm moving too fast to weigh the safety of my movements. I mean, maybe that's dangerous and will catch up to me, but until it does, I'm accident-free. Everything's fine. 5:30 p.m., the UPS guy still isn't here. James calls their dispatch and urges them to hurry over since he's paying me overtime to stick around. And when the driver does arrive, James asks him, "You know FedEx and UPS are merging, don't you?" The driver's shocked. "Where'd you hear that?" James looks to me, then back at him. "It was all over the news. They're merging. Word is they're rebranding themselves as Fed Up." He snickers and makes this pose where he bunches his arms together like he's standing in the fetal position or getting ready to pitch. The driver's shaking his head, and it only gets a bigger laugh out of James. The warehouse doors get closed, the lights shut off, and I clock out. It's 6:15 when James stops me. He says, "I hope you know you're loved." James is referring to Jesus Christ and his father, Papa Christ. He's also referring to himself and whoever else might be in my life that may love me without me knowing. He's not a church pastor, but the role would more appropriately suit him over warehouse supervisor or manager. He says, "I prayed for you the other night. You know, I know you're going through something lately, and it's none of my business what that is, but I want you to know you're a great man, Johnny, and you've done a lot better for this place. For us, we love you for it. It doesn't make a difference whether I tell him I don't believe in any gods or emotional delusions akin to any meanings of love. He can talk to himself in the evenings and pretend it's a direct line to his DD voicemail all he wants." Thanks, James. Have a good weekend. And I want to shrink away from his hug, but I don't want his feelings hurt. And his burly arms wrap around me in such a way that I know his words are genuine. And as much as I just want to leave this warehouse behind and drink away the weekend, if I close my eyes, I can imagine we're not in Oregon, but instead in Arizona. And it's summer, not winter. And Dad isn't some homeless addict sleeping at the mall preaching, but instead, he's a middle manager of a warehouse for durable medical equipment. And anytime I need some reassurance, he's not there to say, "You're doing everything you can and everything you're supposed to." 6:30 p.m. down the street at the Chinese dive bar. I mean, eating now means I don't get sloshed early enough, and a new waitress is working the bar and keeps smiling, and I've already convinced myself she's interested in coming over here. She checks my ID, says, "Nice smile." And her friendliness has nothing to do with how many drinks can be bought with however much is on my credit card because the debit's overdrawn, but that won't stop me from having a fun time. I mean, future me is stuck paying all the way to the Great Dirt Nap anyhow, so keep on another grand, he can take it. He can probably make it downtown before this last shot kicks in. Phone buzzes. Over on Alberta if you still want to meet up for drinks. The waitress asks, one more shot before closing out? Of course. The charge is approved and he's in his car and now he's texting. A girl is in the passenger seat and it's dark enough. No one sees her, maybe they do. Someone's watching. The windows rolled down part way, whatever. He's already forgotten her name and a condom and his plans to write for that upcoming anthology all of his friends are likely to be published in, and he says, I gotta go. She's out of the car and he's at an ATM, and then he's in a shower washing his hair with lavender-scented shampoo, and a pair of hands with painted nails helps. He's on a bed of purple sheets kissing the stripper from just a few, how many was that when? And she says, thanks sometimes for later again, call you don't hear if it's dark out or getting light. His smartphone says it's Saturday, not Friday, and he's at a bar scribbling words on whiskey, no allegiance to any drink but whatever's familiar or isn't anything he's tried before. And he balances each sip with half a page, then 2 sips a page, and then a drink for a sentence. He wanders over to his car until he's not, and he's somewhere on the other side of town trying to buy a drink, but he can't find his damn credit card. And he's back on the last bar, closing his tab and getting his card, and he's pissed off because he doesn't care he's only got 400 left. And he sits in his car scrolling through escort ads on his smartphone. The ATM lets him pull out $2.50, and the 2 girls are young enough they don't try and negotiate, so they take turns on him until they're out of breath, and he's ready to be alone and right now, but the apartment's silent. And the roommates are gone for the weekend for whatever holiday it is where people eat a shit ton of food with their dads and moms and sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles and cousins and grandmas and grandpas. Another hour's left until the bar down the street closes, so he empties the can of quarters that he spends on the bus and spends it all on another drink that he's familiar with or never tried before. And there's Saturday and Sunday, and he's downtown with a writer friend at the entrance to a hotel bar. The bouncer asks to see his ID. It's missing. The bouncer says, just go in, you're good. And the writer friend, twice his age, is buying every drink until they're sitting closer when they're parked outside her place, no words left to share, but really he's out of words these days. And he sleeps and dreams of breaking down pallets of wheelchairs and walkers in his apartment living room, calling in sick because he can't get through to the front door to get to work to break down more pallets. He wakes up late, skips the shower, and makes it to the warehouse just in time to grab that last maple bar. I mean, it's Donut Monday after all.
Yeah!
15-minute intercept and intermission, and don't forget to tip.
Hello. Hello, yes. I discovered that late spring in Portland is as contrasty as autumn, and you have to be very careful trying to take pics or you're not going to get anything. I didn't get anything. The first reader after the break, which is right now, is Marissa Corbell. And her featured column, Backbone, is a 6-month series on corporeal decline. Her non-fiction has been published on Grumpus, The Manifestation, Nailed Magazine, Under the Gum Tree, and The Establishment. Her poetry has been anthologized in Only Light Can Do That, Pen and the Rattling Walls, 2016, and Things I Have to Tell You, Candlewick, 1998. Marissa is currently writing a collection of lyric essays and revising an experimental memoir. So, here comes Marissa.
Hi. Is that good? All right. So I wrote this when I was watching a lot of Westworld. So I know you watch that show and I get it a lot extra. Their thighs are sleek, never touching, mechanized, sliding past each other in white leather, unmuscled sinews made of silicone, electrical wire, worn parts muffled deep inside knee joints, soundproof. They were made for someone who wants a woman or something like her, but none of the drama. This is the ultimate performance of gender. When he hurts them, they cry. Their cyborg bodies create tears through mechanisms that are not explained. Perhaps they are saline, perhaps crocodile. Objects of lust. What he wants is a yes girl with enough no in her to require some handling, some coercion. They are not our children. We do not call them. We leave their naming to the men. Barbie, Bumby, Cha-Cha. This pop culture version of the future depresses me. It's still white supremacist patriarchy, now with more crumbling. All the rusty, wired fences of America, a colonization fetish on the backdrop of the cosmos, a new world. And what do they discover? These brave men in their jaunty white coats, these conquerors, these namers of things. Haven't they noticed that naming is not an act of creation? Her body was there before they saw it. She was blood, moonlight, weaponry, like a Trojan horse, made to gain access. The soft shape of her belly concealed her fire, thick hips held her rage, the split of her thighs, belladonna poisoning emperors with her root. She was arsenic in a tight dress. She had to be controlled. The first step was to name her. Cookie, Dearie, Dinker. Vulva, in Latin, means wrapper. The term used to include the uterus, as in the wrapper of the fetus, a woman as a nested layer of wrappers, like a gag present, a wrapped box containing a wrapped box. My mother told me to call it a vagina. I told my daughter it's for vulva because vagina is both a reduction and a lie. A vagina is an opening, a sleeve, and that place where my daughter rests her hand, that's not a vagina. Jeannie, Ruby, Woozy, what's it? Fairy tales say naming is an act of witchcraft, but I say naming is an act of domination. We name dogs and expensive possessions. Adam named every beast and bird, and Eve. Mostly, we do not name ourselves. Sometimes I think the future will be everything that exists now, but with more names. My friend's 11th grader had a textbook called American History and the Men Who Created It. The only thing missing from the title, we agreed, was quotation marks around the word created. We couldn't stop laughing until we cried. Fanny, Farfalina, Bootsy. Instead of imagining a dystopian future, I imagine cyborgs performing the feminine. Women dominant in coding and robotics create their mimetics. More beautiful, decorative, svelte, unbreakable laptops that shimmer like women and reset with the touch of a button. We could give them to men without contention. They would not be our daughters. The cyborgs could free us, finally, to unbecome, to remember what we were before our naming. The cyborgs would embrace the same men who hurt them the night before, eternally washed in the gaslight of their tomorrows. They would fill up his emptiness with their endless service. They would never have a bad day. They will never menstruate. They will tilt their heads prettily and laugh at his jokes and trace their mouths absently with a thumb while lost in thought like a girl who loved in 5th grade. They will yield like a real girl, scream like a real girl, cry like a real girl, but they won't be a real girl at all. Just a fancy OS with a souped-up case. Will men feel badly for the cyborgs? Would it not already call the cyborgs pussy? Pushki, shoo-shoo, tulip. In my future, women unlearn that soft means weakness. We discover our steel on the inside. If they throttle us, they will feel razor blades in their hands. Don't worry about the good men. They will self-select. Only a misogynist would fall for a cyborg. Tushi, Tula, Zizi. Before there were microscopes, there were microns. Atoms, worlds beyond the capability of a man's small eye. Like the atoms, some truths have been here all along. The forests can speak, and their language is older than the study that proved that trees were interconnected. They don't need science to prove their existence to themselves. A microscope doesn't invent the micro world, just like spacecrafts don't invent the cosmos. They have always been there, unseen, like the stories breathing under American history are the men who created it. Every history of every man began in the body of a woman. You don't have to believe me, it's a scientific fact.
Mary Mandeville lives. They might not be mutually exclusive, but honored. Mary Mandeville lives in Portland with her partner, her son, and 2 rescued pit bulls. Her essays have been in Voice Catcher, Nail, Roll, Reboot, Brainchild, Hit Mama, and Big Head Chapel. Her essay giant, Sequoia, won the Feud Literary Journal's 2016 annual prose contest. 2 essays were Pushcart Prize nominees. Mary's a member of the Corporeal Tribe, and today's essay was born out of that supportive environment. And Mary is also working on a book-length memoir about living with and loving the son who died.
Good afternoon. Oh, sometimes I'm happy I'm part of that corporeal tribe, and sometimes I think, I've kept things secret for like almost half a century. Couldn't I just keep that going?
The corp is out.
Oh, this is called touchable. Sex went AWOL in my body life after cancer. You know, you touch me, I touch you, we dare, caress, reach those dark, moist, hidden places. We bear it all, touch where not everyone touches, and bear that with our eyes, stare deep, intimate, searing. Our bodies stand in for souls, dismissed. Truth? Sex had been dormant in my soul life forever. Inner self, starched and stiff as a criminal in First Holy Communion dress. So much hijacked my ability, my willingness to shed that crisp white dress and just let my sex soul shine. The full-on body moratorium started with a damn plastic pouch that turned me from possibly, hopefully mildly attractive to weirdo free. 3 inches in diameter, that tan plastic circle, the one I press onto my belly each morning, a glorified Band-Aid but bigger. It surrounds a little red bud, a colostomy it's called, a strawberry, the end of a colon rerouted after a cancerous rectum had to be removed entirely. The bud erupts from a once smooth abdomen, a belly now scarred and changed. Affixed to my outsides, that pouch I poop into attempts to cover the shame of my failure to stay healthy, shame of cancer, shame of surgery, and shame of no longer being normal. Damn plastic pouch. Instead of covering, it screams, broken, broken, broken. If you thought you weren't good enough before, boy howdy, how about now? Untouchable. Truth. I believed myself untouchable since always. Since, get yourself back in your room, young lady. Lesson. Good girls don't come out of their bedroom in their PJs. Since your father doesn't want to see you in your bikini. Lesson. Good girls hide their bodies from men. Since thwack, thwack, thwack. Don't let me ever hear you. His breath heaving, leather burning the skin of my buttocks and thighs. That word again. Lesson. Penis is a very bad word. For a bad thing, apparently. Don't say, don't think, don't touch. It's elementary school. I see the picture in the catechism book. She's sprawled on a cobblestone street, white dress with blue sash askew. A man with a knife stands over her as blood streams from her side. The catechism lesson was a bit vague about what exactly the man wanted, but whatever it was, she would give it, even if it cost her life. Now I understand that 12-year-old St. Maria Goretti was one of the virgin martyrs venerated by the Catholic Church for suffering rape, torture, and death rather than voluntarily giving up her virginity, and not much has changed. Lesson: good girls would rather die than be sullied by men's wanting, and good girls have no wanting of their own. I learned not to eat from the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden, even when I pretended to take a bite. I longed, I throbbed, I wanted, but I lay passive and wondered what the buzz was all about. What do you want? Oh, sweet Jesus, I hated that question. To want a sweet and deep caress, to want to be wanted was just too much. I kept quiet, refused to answer. More than once, more than twice. Learned to ask, what do you want? Touching breasts and labia lips and clits instead of allowing penises into my orbit, that expunged a little something. Virginity of a sort, still possible without sin thrusting its way into my body self, worse, soul self. Still, the white dress had to come off, its blue sash lying dangerously on the floor, discarded. Did I die to save my virginity? I did not. I tried it with boys. It was often dull, but sometimes fire. I tried it with girls. That was a little better. It was less often dull and more often fire. Then my father died, and cancer came. I didn't die, but the plastic couch came to remind me of my sins, and so I stopped, just said no, just couldn't do it, shut the door, called it a day, repented with late virginity. The meeting hall in Swanky Hotel in Ottawa had been reconfigured into a healing space. Portable adjusting tables made a big circle, head ends out, feet in. About 50 people milled around the edges of the room, waiting for an open spot. Music moved through the space. I think it was strings, but maybe it was chanting. It hummed inside my breastbone and swept me in like a wave on the beach, pushing and pulling. This was my first experience in a newfangled healing work called Network Chiropractic, a kind of touching so gentle as to be esoteric, and yet so powerful as to dance between medicine and magic. I claimed an empty table and laid myself face down on soft red vinyl-covered foam, surrendered to the care of a practitioner I had just met the day before, someone who knew nothing of my word story, my word history. His only clues would come from my body story. He took my ankles in hand, stretched and pressed together. Turn your head to the left, I turned. Turn your head to the right, I turned. Fingertips tapped my backbone, neck, a peck, a flick, and almost not their touch. Then he was gone, away to touch another body on another table, and I let the music play. More taps, brushes of a finger and a thumb, muscles melted into vinyl and foam, waves moved through guts and bones, rippled up spine, drizzled down breasts and belly, warm, easy, sensual. Then a touch, light as a bird's wing, a swipe, a lift to the triangle bone at the base of my spine, just above the split of my buttocks. At the root of me, a suggestion of flight. A tornado, the opening picked me up, spun me around, and set me down in a place my feet had never touched before. The cotton crinoline of my stiff soul began to soften and flutter. As I left the room and strolled outside under red and gold leaves, something warm and gooey like melting honey flowed in my veins. I was a schoolgirl again, crushed out on being. The slant of light on autumn leaves, the caress of crisp fall air, my skin tingled and the girl hearts shivered. I'll be working my whole life to truly set my sex soul free. But for a start, later that evening in Ottawa, in the dark of my hotel room, alone, my fingers sought the forgotten valley at the root and center of me, and for the very first time, shame began to slip from my shoulders, the perfect white dress of it falling slowly to the floor in a crumbled heap.
Oh yes, the story of the Liberty. Michael received.
Reeman Salmon is an author, speaker, actress, life coach, and an entrepreneur from Bangladesh. Her work's been in Shape, Nailed, Huffington Post, Your Tango, and Full Grown People. She's author of the memoir I Am Yours and founder of We the Sisterhood, a media company focused on healing, empowerment, expression, and leadership. She's also the creator of You Are the Voice, a one-woman performance on healing and rising from rape and other adversities. Her next performance is at Northwestern University, 29th of May. Please visit www.reemansalmon.com for more info, published works, performance, videos, interviews, and booking.
It's different in the daylight. I'm used to it all dark. Thank you, Dami, for this, as always. And thank you for my parents for being here. They come to everything. Thank you all. They're the most adorable.
Okay, I'm sorry, parents. I'm gonna embarrass you right now. You're the most adorable.
Aren't they?
You are. Thank you.
This is an excerpt from my memoir, I Am Yours, which is on its 12th projection. I'm just amused by everything. Anyway, so here's from my very unmarketable memoir, an excerpt. This piece is from 4 years ago in my life, so when I was 29 years old, and the characters are myself and a man I have been dating for a year. I am 29. He slips into me, and I realize he has left. I can feel it in his touch. Moreover, I can feel he has been with someone else. Wrapped in the vortex of our limbs, I feel a cold stillness move through me, like a river lost and trying to find its way to an ocean it doesn't know. Perhaps women feel this more acutely because of the way our bodies are shaped to receive and form to a man's. As we feel your touch change from sweet to bitter, from caring to cold to worse, apathetic, we morph as well. We change from your cradle to your receptacle, from your garden to your wasteland, an area bereft of meaning, value, or beauty, a land deemed ruined, barren of interest, where waste is deposited and things go to die. He has been with someone else, and rather recently. She exists vividly in the air. I don't smell her. I don't find traces of lipstick on her collar. She lives in his distance, hovering the way a foreshadow floats between two people. I move horizontally, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Sandwiched between him and the bed, kneaded like dough as he burrows into me. My head is turned to the left. His chin with his slight stubble grinds into my forehead. In the morning, I'll have to hold an aspirin moistened with water to soothe the raw spot. It makes the red go away. My eyes memorize the titles of books and boxes along his walls. I fill with the boredom from being here again. I'm tired of this story that folds back unto itself. I'm weary of being insipid, to a man, I loathe myself for yet again choosing someone who makes me feel this way. I watch him slide into his boxers and t-shirt. I watch him reflexively flex his biceps in the mirror, checking to make sure his gel is still in place. I watch him and I wonder why I thought this tale would somehow end differently. He is flush with power while I barely have currency. He is rich while I am disposable income. I am just another pretty face, disposable, made to be used and replaced. I recover my clothes from the floor, retrieving crumbs like Gretel trying to find her way home. I layer my layers, an unwanted object covering itself. Something bites the back of my neck. It's the tag on my short, tight black dress. I tug and it says, made in Bangladesh. Both my dress and my body were born in the same impoverished land. Exotic terrain, mass conquered and capitalized. Our minority status exploited. I put on my coat, make my way to the door, and I turn around. Are you happy? I ask him. My sorrow keeps my voice from voicing the truer question we both have answered. Yes, he replies, cupping my chin in his hairy palm. I am happy. Thank you.
Rios Starlus is the author of the short story collection The Pulse Between Dimensions in the Desert and the upcoming novella itself. Her work has been featured in Volume 1 Brooklyn, Real Sister Magazine, Feminine Magazine, and Santa Sucia. Rios Starlus.
Itza. Great-grandma, also known as Abuelita, died in her sleep. Her bed was in the middle of the forest. Yellow leaves sprinkled her bed, a giant maple leaf covered her face, her long white hair spread above her head and reached the edges of the bed. Mushrooms bloomed out of the mattress. Mist permeated in between the trunks of the forest trees as they looked down on Abuelita. We don't know how her bed got out there. We told the neighbors it was her dream to wander the forest as a ghost. As a ghost, she can blend with the fog and follow rivers slithering into creeks. She can hiss into the ears of deer to ask them where the best berries are. She can follow hunters with their rifles to see if ghosts have more power than guns. We told the neighbors Abuelita loved climbing trees. When I think of her now, I see her up high in a tree branch eating mangoes or sardines. She loved messy foods and smelly foods. She loved crunching the bones of the tiny fish and then cackling about being a water witch. She loved wiping the nectar of fruit from her neck with the back of her hand. She taught me to devour plates of food with moans and laughter and sloppiness. It took 4 days to drive to her. Mommy drove along the coast and told us to take in the ocean. She told us to breathe in the mist and the salt of our own bodies. On our way to Abuelita's bed, the yellowing trees looked like enormous marigolds scattered along the rolling hills. We had marigolds in our laps, and candles lined the trunk of the car, our faces painted into skulls. We sat still, we held in our tears. We wanted Abuelita to witness us in our necked bodies, our decomposing future bodies. We wore white as we hiked through the forest. I whispered into the mist. I wanted to know if I was a water witch. Did Abuelita pass her bruja intuition down to me? Silence struck the forest. A strip of light pointed to a fragmented yellow leaf on the wet ground. I ran toward the leaf and held it to my chest. As I looked up, a heavy droplet of water fell into the center of my forehead. I gasped, and I let the water trickle down my crooked nose. From the gut. The only time Abuelita bit her tongue was in front of her great-grandchildren, Marisol and Araceli. They ran errands in the city. Abuelita needed to visit the pharmacy. Marisol wanted to find her first tarot deck. Araceli wanted to watch the pigeons downtown to see if any of them were curious enough to follow her back home. As they waited at the bus stop for the ride back home, a pale man with yellow hair stood in front of Abuelita, smirked, and called her a wetback. Go back to where you came from. Drown on the way back. Now, in an alternate reality, Abuelita's floral scarf covers Marisol and Araceli's ears. The world becomes mute to them. Lightning scratches at the sky to distract them from an ugly moment on the planet. Abuelita spits on the ground and sticks her fist through the man's chest. She asks him if the blood coming out of the orifice in his soul is just as brilliant red as the blood pumping into her vibrating heart. She slaps him across the face with her bloody hand and tells him to stop perpetuating the violence of his ancestors. Stop being so simple and predictable. Stop the infatuation with claiming bodies like hers, unworthy of existing in the same space. She tells him in her gorgeous, thick accent, I have always been here, and I will never leave. I don't owe you a goddamn thing on this spinning earth. Yes! You are so minute, I won't even keep a memory of your face, you white demon piece of shit. Now, in this reality, Abuelita says nothing because she's recovering from the flu. She is silent and looks past him. This is the silence that ejects you out of your body. It untangles every single hair on your skin, and all of it stands up, and you want to rip it out. You want to rip yourself into particles because it's so much more than a word or a phrase or a look. It is detaching yourself from your own body to step outside of it and ask why anyone would go out of their way to belittle you. It is white supremacy embedded into this social fabric. It is this reality that wants you gone. It is desperate to erase you. It's so much more, and you cannot understand it unless it has happened to you, unless it keeps happening to you. You have to remind yourself about survival at all costs. You must survive at all costs. Abuelita's hands shake as she grabs Marisol and Araceli by their small, beautiful brown hands. The two girls stay quiet. Araceli breaks the silence. She explains to Abuelita she knows for sure that they are a family of water witches. She swears she was born to swim across oceans. Abuelita smiles and squeezes their hands. She begins to feel faint. She embraces Marisol's face and tells her that she is enough. She caresses Araceli's face and tells her she is enough. We deserve to exist.
It's a wrap. Please remember to thank the bar, thank Johnny Phelps on sound, Teresa Amanza on the door, and Adam Strong on video. And then remember to invite all who have ever read at BT to come up on stage for a group photo. Thank you so much. Love you.